Well, the lift kit just came in for the PowerStroke. We're gonna do a 4-inch lift. Got a notification that it was dropped off, so here it is. We went with all 4 springs from Rough Country. That should be the 4 new shocks, and then that should be a drop bar or a drop bracket or something. But fucking hey, man, those things are huge. It's gonna be interesting. All right, my dad's old 7.3 PowerStroke here. Gonna lift it up. I put some 35s on it, and it rubs. Of course, I should have probably got some smaller tires, but I was planning to lift it anyways. So I bought a 4-inch Rough Country lift. This truck has 270,000 miles on it. So just replace all 4 springs. You know, I think is the best way. Lift springs, no blocks. Pretty simple lift. 4 springs, 4 shocks. I think this is the track bar relocation bracket. I haven't really dove into it yet, but that's what came with the lift. And it's probably going to need a drop steering arm that did not come with the lift that I'll go ahead and order. But other than that, pretty straightforward lift. We're going to get her up 4 inches. Holy cow, these rear springs coming out are no joke. These rear bolts were just fucking hard, man. I had to cut them out of there. But that's what we're looking at. It had stock, it had a block in that spring setup, and that's what we're going to right there with no block. So all right, I just got this back wrapped up, and I did have to put the factory blocks back in with this lift kit. So Rough Country 4-inch lift for this Super Duty, you got to use the stock blocks. Also, I have clearance issues. This is hitting, so it looks like a quick, easy solution since I got the tire here is I'm gonna cut it. It's gonna be an axle dump, and it's just gonna blow smoke all over that shock apparently. But, well, I kind of messed up on the back of this lift. So I put the 4-inch springs in, the lift springs, and the U-bolts were way long. And I got online, and there's this forum where a guy was saying you got to put the stock blocks back in. The 3-inch blocks are like 3.5. I put the 3.5-inch blocks with the stock or the 4-inch lift springs, and the U-bolts fit great. But now the truck sits ridiculously high. Those are 35s, and I want a 4-inch lift, and obviously it's way bigger. So it's like 7 inches high right now. I'm gonna do the front. I'm doing the front springs now, the lift springs, and then I'm gonna get it sitting under its own weight, and then I'm gonna adjust the block or the blocks, make them smaller, and get some new U-bolts. But I'll address that once I get the front done and go from there. But that's where I'm at. I'm attacking the front now. Well, I got her all finished. Put the 4-inch lift springs on the front, and it's got a little bit of a rake to it, but it doesn't look bad. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about the rear. I mean, it's all put together, so I'm gonna go drive it and just see how it's acting. But it's a little higher in the rear, but it looks pretty good overall. It sits really high. It was kind of a fight, no joke. But we got this bracket up here bolted in for the, what is that, the drag link. Then we got all 4 shocks and springs. Also up here, these brackets right here were mounted up into the frame. So you unbolt them and flip them, and then they give you these little straps, and it drops your tie rod down. Or not tie rod, but a sway bar. But yeah, here it is. Just did an oil change. Hear that? That's an egg being laid. Yep, there's an egg right there. Breakfast tomorrow. There's the 4-inch rough country lift on the 2002 F350 Power Stroke. The back sits a little higher than I thought it would, but overall, it looks really good. Well, she's sitting a little more level now, so I ended up taking those 3.5-inch blocks out. I don't know if they were stock. I don't know what the heck's going on, but my truck had these in there when I bought it, and it sat too high. So I took the 3.5s out, and I just went down and bought some 2-inch blocks, replaced them with the 3.5, and this looks way better now. Like, definitely not as raked, and it looks right. So nice and level, good to go.